Now, the yacht, Here Comes the Sun, by the way, is for sale with Fraser Yacht for $195 million. All right, so we'll move on, and we've got information about Alfa Nero. Now, in the previous video, we talked about the money that the Antiguan government is paying to Motor Yacht Alfa Nero each week, and this is for crew salaries. Now, we mentioned that it was $28,000 a week, and I said that it was $112,000 a month. Now, I've been corrected here, and a chap called John Considine, he said that $28,000 a week is not $112,000 a month. He said this is a common mistake. There are 13 four-week periods in a year, so it works out at $121,666 per month. So thanks for that. Now, why would it cost $121,000 a month to pay 5 crew members, I hear you ask? There's a lot of comments in the comments section on this. I'm going to break down what I think is going on the boat, and it might help you to understand it a little bit better. Now, first of all, you should be aware that the crew hired a lawyer to represent them, so they've probably got a very good deal in order to keep them from leaving the boat, because they did say to the government, didn't they? I reported a few weeks ago that the captain informed the government that the rest of the crew were leaving. So, and I said the government might come up with a deal to make them stay, and it looks like that's exactly what's happened. These salaries, I'm going to go through some of the salaries, average salaries of the people who I believe is on board. Now, I think there's most likely, I know there's a captain because he's been in the press. There's probably a chief engineer, a chief officer, and a few deckhands. That's what I think. I have no way to confirm that, but we're going to go with that for the purposes of this discussion. Now, the average salary of a yacht captain on a 60 to 90 meter yacht is €17,000 a month, which is approximately $18,500, but it can go as high as €33,000 a month or $36,200 a month just for the salary for the captain. Chief officer average salary is €8,500 or $9,334 a month, but it can go as high as $9,750 or $10,700 a month. A chief engineer average salary is €10,000 a month, which is $10,987 a month. But it can go as high as $14,000 a month, €14,000 a month, sorry, or $15,369 a month. The deckhands average €3,000, which is $3,300 a month. So that, if you add all that together, that works out at $45,409. Now, we're way off right now, aren't we? 121,000 to 45,000. Now, what you've got to understand is, in the industry, many of the people, certainly the engineers, will be on what's called a full rotation, which basically means that for every day you work, you earn a day's leave. Now, in the case of this yacht, they're probably not able to take this leave because there's just 5 of them on board, right? So for every day they work, they earn 2 days' salary. So they're effectively getting paid twice the money because there's no leave. They're not taking any leave, right? So if we, for the purposes of this discussion, assume that the captain, chief officer, and chief engineer were on a full rotation, because they'll look at the contracts that they had before, most likely, and that, again, that's a guess. They might have written up, most likely they've written up new contracts. But if we go based on the fact that they were on a full rotation, so the captain's salary on full rotation would be $37,000 a month. The chief officer would be $18,668, and the chief engineer $21,974. Now, the 2 deckhands, who I believe, I have no way to confirm that there are 2 deckhands, but if there are 2 deckhands, they are unlikely to have been on a full rotation. So their salary would have been $6,588 a month for 2 of them, right? So that's a total of $84,230. So we're getting closer, still 40,000 off though. Now, that could be because the government has agreed for every month they pay them, they're going to pay them a month's back pay. Now, that's just a guess. It works out roughly around that money that they're paying. But that's the best way that I can figure out to understand why they're paying so much per week for that crew to stay on board. So I hope that has helped you to understand a little bit better. By the way, the average salaries, I took that from yachtcareerhub.com. Now this is a company called J for Crew, and they're a yacht recruitment company, and I've had jobs with them before. And they did a big survey last year where they asked everybody to give the information about their salaries, and then they worked out what people were getting. So that's where that comes from. So you know, it's not just based on stuff I plucked out of the air. They've all left, as far as we can understand. They've hired local crew to look after the vessel. They paid them a lump sum up front to go on board because they knew there was an issue with pay, but now they haven't received any money for 5 months. So what we understand is they're going to walk out at the end of the month and leave the boat in a dead